Okay, so we are going to be completing our video editing tutorial. So right up at the top, you guys need to click on this link and it will open to our folder that we need to download. So the easiest way is to click Control A, or you can click and hold a selection box, and we're gonna select all four and download. There's a download button once you have selected them, and then Google will zip our files. When it's ready, it's gonna pop up right here. So we just need to wait for our files to get downloaded. There we go. It's showing up. Okay, I'm gonna open that. So we need to drag and put these these files in our document. So I just click and draw my selection box over all four, click on one, hold my click, and then I drag that into my documents. And I need to get rid of a couple of things. Not that one. There we go. I'm just going to delete these. Okay, so now they are in my document, so I have access to these. And then we're going to go down to our search bar, and we need to find Premiere Pro. All of you guys have these on your computers, and we need to find Adobe Premiere Pro, not the Rush. The Rush is a shorter version of it. So I'm just going to click on Premiere Pro. It's going to start opening. And now we are good. Once it loads, we are going to create a project. So there's a top left-hand corner button or create new project. Both do the exact same things. And you're gonna name this tutorial. When you start editing your commercial, you'll name it whatever you want for the commercial. And then we need to make sure this is also going in your document. So select it to go into your documents and save it. We don't need a template, and then we're going to create it. Next, it's going to prompt us to try to find some of our files. So you just need to navigate and find our documents, and then we're going to click our milk in files, and then bottom right-hand corner is our import. So we import files, and then when we're done, we export our file. Now that we have downloaded our files and found and opened Premiere Pro, we are going to create a new project. Mine looks a little bit different than your guys's. You have the option to create a new project right here. I'm going to go to the top left-hand corner and click New Project. And then right away, you want to name it. This is our vid tutorial. When you start editing your commercial, name it your commercial name. Our location where it's going to be saved. So let's browse, and you guys are going to put it in your documents. I'm on my Mac, so I'm just going to put mine on my desktop. And yes, I'm going to replace that, create. Okay, then it's going to give us the option to import our files into Premiere Pro. So we just need to navigate and find ours. Yours is in your documents or your downloads as well too. There's two possible places. Mine's on my desktop. So then once you find your files, you're just going to click and select all of these files. So we import these 4 files into Premiere Pro so we can edit them. And now that we have, let me just reset my workspace. Okay, now we're in the editing part of Premiere Pro. And before we begin editing, I just want to make you guys aware of the different panels that we have in Premiere Pro. So over on the very left-hand side, these are our clips that we are working with, and you can get a preview version if you just hover over it as well too. We're probably not going to use all 4 of these clips. Like the video part of them, we might use just the audio. Not quite sure what we're going to do yet. But these are our clips, and if you want to look at a clip, if you just double click on it, it will then give you a bigger version, and you guys can always adjust your windows as well too. But I'm just going to make that smaller. Okay. I like my effect controls right there usually, but our source right there. Okay. Then when we start editing, like adding in effects, this is where we're really going to pay attention to. The biggest thing to pay attention to is our timeline panel down here at the bottom. Our timeline panel will show right here up in this preview version of what the timeline, what your video is looking like. Inside of your time panel, you have different tools along the left-hand side. When we are editing, we're mainly going to be using our cut tool, our razor tool. I sometimes will call it our cut tool because the command is C. And then our selection tool, which, good to know, is the V key as in Valentine. And we'll get into all of this other stuff later on. So let's just look through our clips and to see how it's looking. So we can zoom into our timeline by adjusting our panel down here. And if I really want to get a detailed version, I can adjust this kind of arrow key right here to see how it's looking. Now, when I click on a clip, you're going to see it clicks on the video and it clicks on the audio. Later on, I'll show you how we're going to separate these. But this is my bubble, and if I push the space bar, it will then play it. Which I really like these sound effects. And then I have my cookie drop, which I've got some things to cut. Beautiful. Which now, as we're looking through these clips, right here along around 26 is where we're going to cut it. So I just hit my C key and then my razor appears and I can cut this. Then I'm going to hit my V as in Valentine, click on this part of the clip that has all of the mishaps and delete it. And I'm just going to check to make sure it looks good right there. And same thing, I might just cut it a little bit earlier. But now I'm going to drag that closer to my other clip. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. And I want my clip to end about right here. So I could cut it again. Otherwise, another way to adjust your clip is you can click on the end of it and then drag it to where you want it to end. So you're cutting in just a different way. So I like that. Okay, we'll bring in our next clip next to it. You always want to check them, see? Bad one right there. I think this is cut right here at 24. I'm going to delete that one. It's good just to get your clips figured out of what works. Beautiful. Okay, so we're cutting all of our clips right now, getting rid of the stuff that we don't need. And then this is my stir, which I zoom out so you can see it. So I'm going to cut that right there as well too. Get rid of that. Check to see how it's looking now. Right there, just we're cut again. Delete. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to use this clip right now, but it's good to just adjust, edit as we so need. So that's looking pretty good. But I'm going to rearrange my clips so they work. So you can separate them by just dragging them out. So I can rearrange. So I think I want my cookie. This is my rolls right here. I want my cookie roll to start. Boom, right there. I'm going to have the cookie drop follow. Yeah, let's just get rid of that. And then honestly, I just kind of want the sounds of the bubbles. Let's switch. Let's have our bubbles be the start. And let's cut this down a little bit too, because we've got almost 15 full seconds of just bubbles. So I'm going to cut that down to about like 5. And so I'm just playing it to check to see how it's looking. Cookie roll, good. Cookie drop. Okay. I'm liking it so far. The couple things I don't like. So I'm going to click on this clip. And then we have our properties and essential sound right here. So I'm going to go to properties and I've got my scale. I'm going to zoom in on my scale so I don't see the edges of my classroom. And then my anchor point, I'm going to adjust so I can see my milk. And you just move it over to your happiness. Ooh, this is a little crooked though too. So what I can do, that's not too bad. Opacity left, crop. I just need to change my anchor point so it's really low. So I can see my cookies rolling in. Let's look at that. Okay. Same thing. I'm going to adjust the scale right here. Oops, wrong one I'm on. And you have to click on that clip. Make sure you're clicked on the correct clip. That's one of the hardest parts. Going to adjust that, bring up the scale. Good. View it right there, no black on the bottom. I'm trying to rotate it right now. Oh, here we go, transform. Okay, so now that I'm transforming, I can go in and crop it too. If I want, I'm just going to zoom out. That was my issue. Okay, let's transform. And then I can rotate this. I'm going to zoom in to see how it's looking. And I just want to compare. It's a little bit different, but that's okay. We're just learning. So I'll just bring this down a little bit more so we can see our cookie roll, and cool. Okay, the volume is a little bit low, so we're going to go to our essential sound and let's clear our audio type. So this is our audio panel. There's different audio types that you can use. So this is dialogue, music, sound effects, ambiance. I like to click the dialogue one, even though it's not dialogue. And because I've got a lot of control over here, I'm going to enhance the clip volume. And what I'm noticing is the volume is stopping about right there. So we're going to do what is called a J cut. But to do this, we need to right click on our clip, and I'm going to scroll down to unlink. What we just did is I'm going to have now the capability to edit the video separately than the audio. So I'm going to hit the C, cut this right there, cut that right there. You'll see what I'm doing in just a little bit. I'm going to bring this one over. And I'm also going to cut this milk a little bit earlier. V. I'm going to drag this audio down to my second level right there. and we've got different layers. So I'm going to drag this one up to my second layer as well too. And I'm going to bring this into where I want it to start playing over my bubbles. So I've got bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. This goes, boom, falls. And you still have a little bit of bubbles playing as the cookie is rolling in. Cookie roll is a little loud, so I'm going to bring the audio down a little bit. You can see what your levels are like right here. You should never get into the yellow or the red. Okay, I'm liking that. Let's drag this guy over. I need to adjust this one. So I'm going to drag this one over as well too. Go back to my properties. Gonna move my point. That one looks good. And so this is what ours is looking like. Cookie roll, cookie drop. And that I'm happy with. Okay. Playing it, boom, cookie roll, cookie drop. Okay, we're gonna end there. So now we are ready to export this so you guys can submit your clip. So we're gonna go up to File, and we are going to drop down to Export. It's almost at the bottom, and then go Media, or you could go Control M. I'm gonna name this Vid Tutorial. Your preset should be our high quality 1080 HD, and format is great. You can just leave it at the H2.65. But what you need to know is, where is it being saved to? Mine's going to go to my desktop because I'm on my Mac. You guys will need to put yours in your documents. So I'm going, in our video file format is a MP4, which is perfect. I'm going to save that.